AI can be a lot. It can be really overwhelming to the financial advisor that doesn't know where to begin.
Mm-hmm.
So where's a good spot for someone to begin when it comes to enhancing their practice for that generational wealth transfer?
Yeah. So we knew that we had to figure out a way, and it wasn't hard to do, but we had to figure out, how can AI be a part of all this? How can AI help financial professionals really with this whole next gen wealth transfer, and specifically this concept or these ideas that we're talking about. So we actually reached out to an AI expert that works specifically with the financial professional community. He uses his AI knowledge and expertise and only works with financial advisors. His name's Ben Olson. And what he shared with me, he said, look, there's so much AI out there and everyone is getting slammed. AI is coming at everyone at a very high level of speed, and it's overwhelming. It's overly stimulated. So he said, look, let's take a step back. Financial professionals today need to focus on two areas if they're just getting started. They need an AI note taker, and they need to get really good with ChatGPT, in the sense that they need to make ChatGPT their brainstorming partner. He said if you can get really good with those two things, it will create so much more efficiency for the practice. It will give them back more time, and it will make them more productive and more successful.
Yeah, we did a house rules on AI prompts, because that's what you're alluding to with ChatGPT and getting really proficient at it,
The
is
power of the prompt.
understanding how you can prompt it and contort it so that it answers the questions that you need help with, and
Yes.
using it as a brainstorming partner.
Yes.
The note taker stuff, I think you mentioned in our initial call, was it Jump? Is that
Yeah.
the software or the program that you were kind of big on?
Yeah, so there's a lot of note takers. There's a lot of AI note takers out there. I originally was introduced to an AI note taker called Firefly, and you can just plug it. Like when I was having a Zoom, I could plug it into Zoom, and it would take notes on the whole Zoom. So if I missed anything, I could go back to that note taker, and it caught everything. There's an AI note taker that I'm seeing financial advisors use, that they're using the Firefly, but now I'm starting to see more advisors use Jump.
Okay.
And Jump is an AI note taker specifically for financial advisors that will integrate to all the major CRMs.
Which is a nice little connection point that they're bridging that gap.
They are. So what happens with that, with the push of a button, they can take all the notes from that meeting and it'll transfer into their CRM.
And I know data entry and data input can be that's a point where a lot of things fall off and this information gets put in wrong, and all of a sudden a warm lead turns into a dead end because you forgot
no lead.
You had no lead because you forgot a letter in their name or something.
Right, exactly. And so it'll pick up everything. And then when you get really good at this and you're starting to build maybe some communities and then activate the community effect, or be a resource connector, going back to the trend of connectivity, digital connectivity, where it comes together with like human and touch connectivity. So you could get into that. So now all of a sudden your notes become so comprehensive. And then you can start filtering things like, you can start filtering like, who are all my clients that have kids going into college? And then it'll bring up a list. And then, okay, what sort of event then you could do? Then you could go to ChatGPT.
Oh boy.
And you could say to Chat, I'm targeting my clients that have kids going into college in the next 2 years. What sort of events should I be hosting for my clients and their kids going into college to prepare them for college?
Yep.
Within seconds. I'm talking about 10 ideas right there for you. That's how you can use them both together. But what I love about the note taker specifically, it's going to catch so much of the information that you can be more present in those meetings and not taking so many notes, and really present and coming across as really listening. And then you can go back and read the notes.
Yeah, it's really easy when you bury your head down and you start writing that all of a sudden you're missing that one nugget that was going to be, that was your door that you missed because you were stuck doing something that AI can do and do pretty well, I would think.
It's little, it becomes, when you have a note taker, the meeting, you're going to have so much more engagement. You're going to come across as much more present. You're going to be able to listen a lot more. And then the bonding effect will be so much more stronger.
One thing that really jumped out to me when we talked about this generational wealth transfer, in that if so many financial advisors have a process, they have a very buttoned up process for leads that come in and converting leads to clients. But when it came to, and they're aware of this, they're aware of Gen X.
Yeah.
And yet there is no process. Everything was very loose in terms of bridging the gap and bringing in that next client, or in making themselves a little bit more sticky. Why? How did that happen? How does that happen?
I don't know. And I wasn't expecting it. I've talked to some pretty successful, very uber successful financial professionals over the years. And then specifically as we were building out this program. And they are so proud to talk about their process when it comes to the onboarding, when it comes to like working with their clients, when it comes to their staff working with their clients. Everything has a process. It's buttoned up. It's tight. You can tell like, okay, they're running like a really good practice. And then I would ask the question, what is your process in working with the next gen? Or what's your process for next gen wealth transfer? And every response, before, if it was like, what's your process for onboarding? I was like, we do this. Like, it was very
they get
just
this
tight.
Email, they get
very
this
tight.
email.
Yeah, so very tight. And then they would say, well, we start with this. Well, and that right there, equates to loose.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well,
that's what that translates
yes,
to.
Exactly. And so it's like, we tell the families, let us know, we'd love to meet your kids at some point, and let's have that conversation, or I'd love to meet them. Let's do that. And and nothing happens. It's very loose. Or we've met the kids once, or we told them we want to meet with them. We just haven't done that yet. It's so loose. And the thing is they don't have much time to prepare. They really, really don't, because it's happening now. The wealth transfer has actually already started. And so we've created a couple exercises, one in particular that will help financial professionals just get started, just to start thinking about it, and then preparing for an intentional plan for that next gen, that wealth transfer that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm glad you said intentional, because I was going to say intentional about events, client events, and being intentional about what you think is actually going to get that next generation in front of you. Yeah. And it reminded me of, we shot a Selling with Stories. It's also on our Impact Partnership YouTube channel with Randy Cook, and he used this phrase, don't forget to ask for the order. So many of the financial advisors we work with are great at that part of the equation of asking for the order and selling and doing that. And yet this is the opportunity where it's very happenstance. Oh no, if it happens, it happens, but they're going to come to us. Well, you told us at the beginning, 79%, was it 70% have no interest in staying with that financial advisor. That, assumed relationship is not necessarily a good idea. Not going to pan out.
It's not going to pan out. It's really not. And so we came up with this exercise that said, okay, look, let's start small. Let's start with your top 5 or top 10 clients in your book today, and T-chart them. So do a T-chart with every single one of your top 5, top 10 clients, and ask yourself this question. Who are their kids? Have you met their kids? Who are the grandkids? Have you met the grandkids? And there's like a couple other questions on that T-chart. And if there are any holes in that T-chart, you have work to do. You have a lot of work to do. One of their questions, what life stage are they in right now? And what do we mean by that? Are they just having kids? Are they raising kids? Are the kids in high school? Are the kids going to college? Are the kids out of college? Are they starting new jobs? Like you could probably come up with like 5 or 6 questions to ask about that. And if there are any holes in those T-chart, that's where you start. You gotta get to know those kids.